Hello, and welcome everyone. My name is Isabelle. I am your health and mindset coach, and I usually come to you live, but today we are doing a video because I'm having some issues with the internet, and I really wanted to share with you for this Wellness Wednesday something that I absolutely love to do, and I think it is great, and I wanted to share this passion with you. Also, I've had a lot of questions. A lot of people ask me to give them some extra information on natural products to feel better, to help with a specific health issue, to increase energy, to sleep better. Now, the information that I am going to share with you is a plus. But by all means, if you are suffering from something vital, if there's an emergency, you need to go to the hospital, you need to call an ambulance, you need to do that. This does not replace traditional urgency medical attention. It's just for your information. Now, we are going to be talking about extracts and tinctures. These are awesome remedies, and it is what I use to work with my clients. It is what I use with my family. It's what I use with my son, and of course it's what I use all the time. And if you're looking for something simple, you can absolutely buy these in a health food store. If you want to do them yourself, you can also do that. Of course, I do them myself, and I'll show you a little bit of information on that. It's very simple. You can also use them as herbal teas, not these tinctures, but the plants themselves. You can use it as herbal teas. You can also get them in capsules. All this you'll find in a natural health food store. Today, I needed to make some sleep ease tincture. So I'm going to show you a little bit on that, but it can be anything. So I also make one for immunity, and you can bottle whatever you want. It's very, very simple. So let's start with the basics. What you want to do with an extract or a tincture, it's take it like a homeopathic remedy. The difference between an extract and a tincture, they're pretty much the same. The big difference is an extract will be milder, a tincture a little bit stronger. You always want to use organic plants. If they're not organic, they need to be wild. And when I say wild, I mean very wild, picked out deep into the woods, never close to the house or to a road or anything like that, because you're going to be extracting the medicinal products from the plants, and you don't want to extract anything that is not helpful to you. All right, so always organic. If you can use fresh, that's better. If you cannot, you can use dried. I use both. Fresh for the stuff that I'm growing in my own medicinal gardens, I use that. And if I don't have it because it simply doesn't grow in my climate, then I will order it. You can order great stuff from a place like Star West Botanical, or if you're a local peep, one of the things that I really like is Clé des Champs. So they're an awesome company, and you can get pretty much anything from them. So they're local. You can also look online, order some stuff online. Just make sure that whatever you're ordering is always organic, regardless if you're taking it as an herbal tea, a decoction, or you're going to make some tinctures or some extracts, always organic. How do you use it? You're going to put 1 part plant and 3 part solvent, or if you want it stronger, half, or 3/4 plant, 1/4 solvent. How do you find out? You look it up. You look it up in books. You can go to the library and get a few books, or you can look it up online. They will tell you specifically how to do it. If you want to make sure and you just want something simple, you could take something like chamomile, the chamomile plant itself, not the whole plant, just this flower. And you could put 1 part plant and 3 parts solvent. Now, when I talk about solvent, it's the liquid. In what will the medicinal properties of that plant be extracted into? There's alcohol, there's glycerin. Personally, I use 8% organic apple cider vinegar. The regular apple cider vinegar is not strong enough. It's not going to work. I use 8%, and I prefer it to alcohol for many reasons. You know, I have a son and I don't want to give him any medicinal products that has alcohol in it. And I love the properties of apple cider vinegar. So I mix the two together. I just let it macerate for a little bit longer. Normally, you're going to let it macerate around 3 weeks, but all depending what it is. If it's a root, it'll be longer than if it's a flower, like chamomile. And the color of your solvent will change. So it can go from this dark color to this one is still macerating. So this is a lighter color. Let me just put some light. There you go. And that is my sticker, so I know when I put it in there. And so you can see there's plant in here and there's solvent here. And like I said, mine is apple cider vinegar. Now you have 2 types of tinctures. You have a simple and a compound. Now a simple, is 1 type of plant. A compound is several. If you are making compounds, you will make a compound from several simples. So that your first step is really to macerate the plant. You want to take a glass jar like this, all right, glass, and you want to have a plastic lid on top. You want to make sure that everything is clean, clean, clean. You don't want to leave anything anywhere, not even on the counter. It's very important because it can create mold. You might not notice it, but if you're taking that as the product, definitely it's not going to give you the results that you wanted. So you want to make sure that it's very clean. You put in your plant, you put in your solvent, you put on your sticker so you know when you need to filter. You're going to filter it once, maybe twice if it's very fine. If you've taken a root, for example, and you've grind it down, and when you filter it, there's still some stuff lying on the bottom, then you're going to need to filter it a second time. And whatever you're left with is your mother tincture, okay? And that will be a simple. That's simple. If you put it together in a treatment bottle like this, then it becomes a compound. All right. Now, the amount that you can take, it's 1 drop per year if it's for children. So, for example, for a child of 4 years old, you're going to take 4 drops, and you put that into a little bit of water, and then they can take it. Ideally, you want to have it sit under your tongue for just a little bit, because tinctures will not necessarily go through the digestive tract, but will be absorbed through your glands under your tongue, and it will go right to your system. So this is why I love these things. These are awesome. They're really great. If you're an adult and you're taking some tinctures, normally, if you're buying them at the store, of course, there will be the amount to take on the back, so you just have to read it. If you're making your own, you're going to take about 15 to 30 drops in some water. It doesn't matter if it's with an alcohol or glycerin or vinegar or whatever it is. You want to dilute it a little bit and you take it. Remember, when you take it, just let it sit under your tongue for a little bit so the medicinal properties of that plant will be absorbed and not go right to the digestive tract. Now, you don't need to count it. It's not an exact science. You can just fill half of the dropper bottle. Now, this there's still a little bit in there. So that's why it's that color, but you never put your tongue or your fingers or anything on it. Once it's been sterilized, once you've added the tincture in there, you don't touch it. So if you're putting in water, you just take it out and put it back in. And the only time that it gets cleaned again is when it's all done and ready to be used. All right. Okay. So how will I do this? Now I am creating a compound, a treatment bottle to help sleep. And it is called Sleep Ease. It's awesome. I truly love it. And I usually mix whatever I've got on hand. So I have some chamomile. I have some hops. I have some skull caps. I just have a little bit left of that one. I'm going to have to make some more. I have some valerian. This is it's very stinky, very, very stinky, but very effective. Just a side note on valerian. Now, I would say that about 98% of the population will react really well to this. It'll put you right to sleep. It's very sedative and calming. But there are a few people that it'll keep them awake, which is odd because but it's nature. So you should know that it could happen. So you want to test it out. You don't want to use this for the first time if you really need to sleep. You want to test it out on just a normal night. But I would say 98% of the population react very positively. And if you are buying a simple valerian, or if you're buying it as a root, just know that it is extremely stinky. Surprisingly so. And I also have some catnip. Catnip is a great plant for little ones. Not only the cats love it, but it is awesome, phenomenal even for little ones, just to calm them down. It doesn't put them to sleep. It just calms them down. If they're teething or anything like that, it is a great alternative. So like I was saying, to know the proportions when you are making the mother tincture, like this, the milk thistle, you want to look it up. You want to look up the quantities to put in there. You want to look up the amount of time that it needs to macerate. And then you want to look up, if you're making a compound, you want to look up the quantity for each. Now, because this is for me, I know which plants I prefer and which ones I want more of. And like I said, it's not an exact science, and it depends. If you're doing this for resale or you're doing it just for yourself or your family, it's very different. This information I'm giving you right now is for you, all right? For you, for your family. So what you can do is you can get just a small funnel. Ideally, it would be glass. I don't have a glass one, so I use a plastic one that I sterilize all the time. I put it in the dishwasher that my dishwasher sterilizes. That's good enough. Now, if I was doing it for clients, I wouldn't put my fingers like this on it. I would use rubbing alcohol. I would let it dry off, and then I would use it like that. And I would, of course, have a sterilized bottle. Now, I can just add to this bottle because there's still a little bit left, or I can take a brand new sterilized bottle. Now, when I take the dropper off, I don't want to just put it anywhere. Again, I want to make sure that wherever I deposit it, it's clean. If I don't have a clean spot, I can take a clean cloth and just put it on it, and that's good enough. That's fine. You can use one of these, all right? So you will go in and you'll get your mother tincture and you will put it, let's see here if you guys can see that. And you can just add it here and it will drop. You want to calculate. I'm not going to do this on camera because I'm really selective about the quantity of each plant that I put in. But I put approximately the same amount of each one, but I will add a little extra valerian because it is a wonderful plant and I've gotten used to it over the years and I just love it. All right, so once it's in there, once you have all your plants added, you put the lid back on and you can just hit it a little bit like that in your hand and you're good to go. Now, if you're going to take this product right away and use it, you're fine. You can let it sit on the counter. If you're going to use it, let's say it's going to take 3 years for you to get through this bottle, maybe you want to stick it in the fridge, but all depending what's in there. It'll keep for a certain amount of time. Of course, it'll keep longer if it's alcohol or vinegar, but with vinegar, you should know that there might become a little bit of a deposit at the bottom. It's just the vinegar itself that is kind of gluing itself back together, and that is not an issue. So you shake it up and you can use it right there and then. Now, because this is a sleep ease formula, I would not use that in the morning. I would just use it at night before going to bed. And I would not use it all the time. I'd use it once in a while when I would feel I need to sleep better. If I haven't been sleeping well in a long time, then I would use it. Now, please note that whatever you take, even if it's natural, if you're breastfeeding mom, it will go through your milk. Okay, that's very important. And you want to make sure that if you're taking pharmaceuticals, that you don't take them together. You want to take all natural products on their own and your pharmaceuticals on their own. So make sure that there are a couple of hours in between. If you're taking pharmaceuticals right before bed, then this is not the formula for you. You can take medicinal products, but just don't take this particular one that I'm making. Now, if I hadn't, I've got a ton of these in my clinic, so I can pick and choose what I want, and I only make a little quantity because I don't sell them anymore. I keep them for my family, I keep them for myself, and for my in-clinic clients that need. So if you're making some, you can get just a small jar. Okay, so this was full, and I have another one macerating over there, and it is even smaller because it is not, it's not big at all. I don't need a lot of it, so I just make a small quantity. Just remember that it takes a little bit of time to macerate to get all the properties out, so you need to time it properly so that you always have some on hand. Now, if you're making just a simple and you want something like valerian, you can absolutely do that. You can order, you can find your own roots, or you can order them online or go to a local food store, a health food store, and they might have some. If you're getting, you want a compound like I'm making, like I want to make, ideally, you might want to buy it already done. It'll be easier. But definitely, if I had to choose between an herbal tea with medicinal plants and a tincture, I go with a tincture every single time. So there it is. There it is. I hope you have enjoyed it. At first, I was thinking that I would pour them in and show you how I pour them in and everything. Oh, one thing I do want to say is if I use this, for example, in my chamomile, all right, I pull some chamomile out and I pour it into my treatment bottle. I will not take this and then go into my hops bottle. I will clean it thoroughly. I will dry it with a clean corner of my brand new towel. All right, I don't take one that's already out. I take a new one. If you're unsure, you can grab a Kleenex, all right, and you wipe it off because you don't want to mix the different properties into your mother tinctures. You want them separate. And I do this for every single one. If you're able, you can pour directly. You can pour it directly, just a certain amount, but If you have just one or two, that's pretty easy because it'll be 50-50 or 60-40 or something like that. But if you have several like I do, I have 5 that I want to put in here, then it's a little bit trickier. So I would just go 1 or 2 of each and an extra one of valerian in this specific case. All right, so I think I have covered it all. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. If you want to know more about this, or if you would like to work one-on-one with me, we cover everything from health to wellness to mindset. You can't have one without the other. There is no way you can have a healthy mind in an unhealthy body, and there is no way you can have a healthy body with an unhealthy mind. They go together. So if you'd like to do some coaching one-on-one, just reach out to me. I'll have a link there that you can absolutely do that, and we can chat for like 30 minutes or so together, and you'll find out if it is for you and if I can help. If I can't, I'll see what I can do to refer you somewhere else or help you out to find out where you're at. If I can help you, even better, it'll be my pleasure. All right, so on this note, you take care. Have fun. I'd love to know if you are going to venture into a tincture and with which solvent you're going to use. And on that note, stay healthy and take care. Bye for now.